Hi guys, my name is Rebecca, but everybody calls me Becky or Becca. I preferably like Becky. I know there's a slang. I know. You feel old when you didn't know at first until your little cousin tells you. I still like to be called Becky. I've been called Becky for close to 3 decades, so shush. Anyways, welcome to my YouTube channel. Yes, finally making one. I know. Anyways, this YouTube channel will be mostly about moms, new moms, questions about adult life. I always wanted to be a kid at heart, but I ended up having to be an adult, buying a house, buying a car, bills. God, I hate bills with a passion. Pregnancy. I've been getting a lot of questions about pregnancy, and it's tiresome to say the same stuff over and over and over, so I just thought, why don't I just make a YouTube video? Like, yes, you see some in YouTube, but all the ones that I've seen were just the basic, the pregnancy 101, which I kind of didn't have. So I was like, well, not all women are the same. I, for one, did not like being pregnant. I actually thought my whole life that I was not gonna have a kid, that I get to travel the world with my husband and do all that stuff. And once I found out that I was pregnant, I was ecstatic. I was nervous, so nervous. But if you want to know more about this, just keep on watching. Comment below. Let me know what other stuff you guys are curious about. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe, okay? First trimester. Luckily for me, I did not get morning sickness. Not like most of my friends that's had morning sickness. The one thing that I did get on my first trimester was nausea. I could not stand going into the kitchen. So poor of my husband had to learn for the first 3 months how to cook his own food. I could not go in the kitchen. If I smelled the food, I was nauseous and I just had to go to bed and lie down. It made me dizzy, all that stuff. The second thing was I ended up, okay, if you don't get nausea, that's fine. But I got diarrhea, which is the rarest thing that you could have being pregnant on your first trimester. But I didn't work for the first 3 months because I could not get out of the bathroom. It was horrible. Like, it wasn't even like the grotesque part. It's just that sensation of going. That's what I had. And it was horrible. To top it all off, I'm anemic. And I was tired constantly. Told the doctor I was anemic and all this stuff, and they sent me to a specialist because in my family there's due for twins and I could not deal with twins. So happy I just have one. Anyway, so they sent me to a specialist because they wanted to make sure that my iron was high, all that stuff. It was making me tired all the time. I could be sleeping for 13 hours, then wake up, be active for what, 3-4 hours, and then cannot handle being awake. I had to take my naps. So it was really difficult for me to have the first trimester. And when you are a new mom, and I know all the moms will agree on this, you go once a month to the doctors. You love to hear your baby's heartbeat. You cannot feel the baby yet, so if you had your choice, you will have a friend or someone that can bring a sonogram to your bed. That way you can, when you wake up or before you go to sleep, you can hear baby. One of the questions that was asked was, did you sleep stomach side down? I always slept stomach side down, so I freaked out when I found out I was pregnant. So I talked to my doctor and she said it wasn't a big deal until it starts getting bigger, because either way I'm gonna be uncomfortable, so just don't worry about it. But my first trimester was all about tiresome, diarrhea, nausea. It was just still excited, took some pictures, but I was just not feeling it at all. Physically, I was drained, so I didn't take as many pictures as I wished. But okay guys, second trimester, I ended up having my energy back. My nausea was not completely gone. I could go and make my own food, but I just couldn't touch the plates, anything dirty. That was just nasty to me. At 16 weeks, I ended up feeling my baby kick. It was amazing. It was something that it was just shared between me and my son. I was just ecstatic. It was fantastic. The one thing that happened to me was I started getting pains on my hands, and every time I slept, it just numbed the whole thing, and it was super painful. So I talked to my doctor. Turns out I got carpal tunnel. It happens to pregnant women, not a lot, but it happens. And so I had to start wearing the little braces on both sides. This one was actually worse than this one. So this one I could be without a brace for a couple of nights, but this one had to have a brace no matter what. I couldn't really do grips or anything like that, so it was pretty difficult. I still can't really feel my hands, but it is not as bad as before. So I did have carpal tunnel, but second trimester was amazing. I had no problems. Belly started getting bigger. The one thing that I will say though, I never saw myself as a huge person. I thought my belly was small, it was cute, all that stuff. No, looking back at the pictures, I was really big. I lost weight on my first trimester due to the stuff. Second trimester, oh my god, I was starving all the time. Before I became pregnant, I wouldn't eat as much, but once pregnant, I never had cravings, like really weird cravings. The one thing that I was craving a lot was pizza. Not just any pizza, it was either Little Caesars or Casey's Pizza. Those two things. It's just, I wanted them so bad. Or Pizza Ranch, oh my god, I forgot what it was called. It was an Italian one. It had Alfredo sauce with tomatoes and spinach. I don't know what it was called, but that was also one of my cravings. I had cravings, and I still could feel pretty comfortable sleeping. It wasn't so bad. I just had to sleep on my side. They suggest to be on your left side. That was way too uncomfortable for me. I had to go to the right side. One of the questions that I was asked was, when do I feel baby kick? I actually felt baby kick like around 1 in the morning. He was super hyper at night. So I just felt the flutters and flutters and flutters and flutters at 1 in the morning. So I knew, go to sleep early because he's gonna wake you up at 1. I can't really say a lot about my second trimester because I loved my second trimester, but I was just anxious to know the sex of the baby because I had the ultrasound at 20 weeks. And before that, I think it was 2 weeks before I had the ultrasound, I ended up going to the hospital because I was feeling cramps, and it turned out to be a UTI. Pregnant women get UTIs. If you did not get a UTI, you're so lucky. Anyway, okay, so now we're going to talk about third trimester. So third trimester, I started getting Braxton Hicks. Apparently, I really didn't know because with PCOS and endometriosis, you're already in pain as it is. But I was having cramps, and I just told my doctor, and she told me it was just Braxton Hicks. We are good. So I just didn't pay attention to it. But I did have a curiosity to know, when do you know when your water breaks? When do you know when you're in active labor versus Braxton Hicks? I had so many questions. Anyways, at 6 months, my husband started feeling the baby kick. It was amazing. He was a little stinker though, because every time he kicked, I would have my family come and try to feel the belly. He would just stop. I was like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, you're so actively kicking at me. It is crazy. And he would like hit me right on my ribs, and there was times that I felt like he was stuck. Oh my god, the air was knocked out of me. It was horrible, but I would not change it at all. I mean, yes, I was miserable throughout my pregnancy, and people are like, but you're a mom, you're supposed to like your pregnancy. No, I hate that stigma that moms have to like their pregnancy. I have known people that when they get pregnant, it literally sucks the life out of them. That they're in the hospital basically the whole pregnancy. Why do we have to like it? I don't understand. Like, I didn't like it at all. I never wanted my body to change so dramatically. Love my kid. I do love him to death. I would do whatever to make him happy. I just did not like my pregnancy. And I hated the fact that I would say it, and I had a couple of people tell me, you're supposed to like it. No, I'm not supposed to like it. I'm supposed to feel whatever the heck I feel. Anyways, third trimester, I started getting hot flashes, all that stuff, and people were like, oh my god, you're glowing. It is not glow. It is freaking sweat. I am sweating like a pig. Can't you smell me? I smell bad. Anyways, I just had like a lot of sweat. I couldn't sleep right. I was having insomnia like crazy. So at 6 months, my husband was able to feel the baby, which was amazing. I just started freaking out more about Braxton Hicks, just the usual general stuff, because you tend to get freaked out easily like that. And I kept asking, how's it like? How's it like? How's it like? And I kept getting different responses, as in, oh, when you know, you'll know, blah, blah, blah. No, I will not know when I know. This is my first time having a baby. It's not like I had a baby in secret and all of a sudden I completely know what it's like. Like, no, you gotta tell me exactly how it's supposed to feel like. I don't know the difference between Braxton Hicks and all that stuff. So I kept asking, and they kept telling me, oh, it's not gonna feel like cramps, just letting you know. And so I was not thinking there was gonna be like cramps. Okay, 7.5 months. I went because my blood pressure was high, super high. I was bloated all over the place, and I went in, I was having what they thought was Braxton Hicks. So they kept me in observation for an hour. Did not check my cervix, nothing like that, which I wish they would have. So they sent me back home, and so I go home. On Wednesday, I felt like someone punched me right in the stomach, right on the lower abdomen. I was like, this is weird. So I didn't think too much about it. So I decided I'm gonna relax, watch some YouTube, all that stuff. 1:30 pops up, and I have to really pee. I started peeing blood. I was like, okay, we're going to the hospital again. So my husband luckily had the day off, so same with my mom. So what I did was I told my husband to get ready to go to the hospital because I was peeing blood. He freaked out like usual because he loves to make sure that I'm okay. And so he started driving my car. Granted, he was going like a maniac, driving past the stop signs, all that stuff. And I was like, dude, calm yourself down. I don't want to get stopped, and all of a sudden, if I am deliver here. Like, no, you abide by the rules, because there are some people that will not care that you're pregnant. They will run you over. Like, don't do that. So I ended up calling ahead, letting ER know that I was 34 weeks gestational. I was peeing blood. I need to be taken right upstairs. Luckily, there was a male nurse that was there, all ready to take me up. So they gave me a pad and everything because they wanted to make sure that everything was okay. And I kept going to the bathroom. I ended up having such massive diarrhea. I know it's gross, but it is so true. I had diarrhea like crazy, and they were like, don't push, and I'm like, trust me, it's coming out on its own, like, trust me. So I got there by 2 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, the doctor decided to check my cervix. Lo and behold, my water completely broke. I have no idea when it broke, because there was no gushing out of water. It wasn't like a waterfall. It was just, I had no idea how, like, when it broke. So I was admitted in, and I was 5 centimeters dilated. So I went from having a contraction every half hour to constantly having it every 7 minutes, like that fast. And so let's say my room, observation room, was in one side. Like, let's say you just took 3 doors down for me to deliver. I went from 5 centimeters to 8 centimeters that fast. So they were preparing me, all that stuff. Let me tell you, the pain was unbearable. I've seen so many women like lay down because they were in so much pain. I couldn't lay down. That was painful. If I laid down, I had to be up. I had to be standing up. I could not do anything. I would go to the bathroom because I needed to poop. Of course, I never pushed out. Like, no. And so, lucky me, I was only in labor for 3 hours before I had to push, and I pushed for half hour. So I went in at 2, and I was officially in active labor by 3, and by 6:35 my son was born. Okay, you worry about the head coming out, that's painful. No, the shoulders are the worst. Baby is like Finding Nemo going through Mount Wanahakalugi, going through the Ring of Fire for initiation, and my vagina was the Ring of Fire. It was so painful. There's a reason why I call it the Ring of Fire, because it burns like hell, and you just want to like get it done and over with, and you push and push, and you use your whole force until finally baby pops out. You have no idea the best feeling in the world when you finally push the kid out, your belly goes down, all the pain just ceases to exist. You can go take the most expensive massage, you can do the most expensive thing to relax. Nothing can beat the moment your baby is out and you're no longer in pain. That was the best feeling in the world. I felt no more pain, and I was so happy. And then 2 minutes happened that he did not cry. Granted, I was 7.5 months when I gave birth, and those 2 minutes were agonizing until I heard him cry. Daddy cut the cord, held him, which made me super jealous. I was so jealous. And then they let me hold him for 5 minutes because he had to go up to the NICU. Oh my God. My baby being up in the NICU, amazing place. But seeing other mothers leave with their child 3 days later was agonizing to me. I hated it. I wanted to punch them right in the abdomen, like so bad. Telling them, why does your kid get to go home with you and I have to go home without my baby? But I kept telling myself that it was for the best. Baby was gonna be fine. We're good. Managed to bring him home 2 weeks later on Saturday, exactly the day we got off at 11. Baby shower was at 3. Yeah, he managed to be in his own baby shower. It was awesome. So we stayed for a little bit though, because we didn't want him to be around so many people, because we didn't want him to get sick. So we just stayed for a while and then we left. But it was amazing. I got to have my baby boy. It was amazing. Yeah, it was great. Well guys, that was emotional for me. The very last trimester was always emotional for me. But hey, I hope you guys have a good day, and hopefully we get to do this more often. Peace. Bye bye.